right, guys, you said you wanted to see some small block Ford stuff, so here we go. Small block Ford stuff. This is a 351 Windsor, and I know you're going to say, my, Austin, that looks like a mighty complete engine you got there. What happened to your engine build? And I would say to you, not mine. This is actually a customer's. We are completely and totally unsure of what this is. We are sure it's a 351 Windsor. Other than that, we have absolutely no idea what's in it. This came to us as a partially assembled vehicle that we were under the impression was a fully assembled vehicle, and it's been sitting in the frame rails for a while. There's some rodent droppings involved in there. There's some shredded up towels that are in there, and we are not at the point where we are comfortable with this to be able to just put oil and spark plugs in it, hit the key, and make it happen. As annoying it is to get the engine and everything set up in the car, we would rather be sure that this is going to be healthy and safe. So we're up at Bob's once again, and we're going to tear this thing down, go through it, make sure everything's good to go, because we have absolutely literally no idea what's in this motor. So we're going to go through that one. But I also do have my 351 Windsor that we are building for my 1988 Ford LTD. I have the block here, I have the heads, the crankshaft is in the truck, everything else, and we're going to get all this stuff unloaded, and then we're going to go through my little short block here, and we're going to see if it's in decent shape. Now, I am going to continue to say, I am going to do this on a budget. I'm going to build this 351 Windsor on a budget, so this is not going to be Austin just says, Bob, spend all my money and make me something rip-roaring awesome. I am going to have Bob go through this block and check it. We're going to clean it, check it, see what it is. We're going to do the same thing to the crankshaft and see with what we have if it's good. If it is good, then I can do my budget build. If it's not good, I don't want to waste the time and money and energy. That's why I'm going to bring it up here and let Bob give you a yes or a no. If it's bad, I'm going to probably end up building a 427 stroker kit out of it. So hopefully Bob doesn't say that. And Bob is not one who's really great about behaving on budgets, especially with me. So we'll see how this goes. We got to get a couple of little bits off this motor. We'll get it on the engine stand and we'll get this thing unloaded. And then we'll toss her in the parts cleaner and start working and rocking and rolling on this thing. We'll see if my 351 Windsor project will continue to move forward as a budget build. Or if budgeting goes right out the window and I spend $10,000 real fast. Okay, so question number one was, is the clutch and flywheel good? I would say, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'd run that on a race car. Maybe not the clutch.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Figure out what the missing piece was on the 406.
Oh, really? Well, we're not talking Chevy stuff today, Bob. We're talking Ford stuff.
Small block Ford, baby.
Small block Ford stuff.
Yeah, it's real shit.
Careful.
It's real man shit.
Maybe we could resurface the flywheel, but
Yeah, if you get this thing running and then just take like a wire wheel and a death wheel and just sit there.
or a Scotch-Brite pad.
Scotch-Brite pad. Yep, no, exactly.
About 800 RPMs.
Yep. No, just idle and it'll do it.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right, Bob. So first things first, budget-minded. We're staying in a budget. I know. Don't look at me weird.
There's a door.
Get out the door. I understand. So this is my budget 351 Windsor project. This is a 140,000 mile Randland pulled 351 Windsor.
Needs overhauled completely, head to toe.
No. I need it cleaned, and then I want to check it. And then I want you to tell me that it's okay. Because if you don't tell me it's okay, it's going to cost me a lot more money.
That's what I want!
Where's my controller? Got this fancy schmancy crane set up on here now. Look at this. Look at that. You know you do a whole lot of engine and heavy stuff transport when you need to build a crane onto your truck bed. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna hope. Cross your fingers. Oh, and I've got the crankshaft. It's in the truck. Hey, where are you going with that? Crankshaft.
Is there anything else?
Nope, that's it. Cross your fingers for me, please. Otherwise, this is going to be another very expensive adventure with Bob. Trying really hard to do this in a budget. The main reason I want to do the checking of these type things is if I can reuse my rods and pistons, I'm miles ahead. If my bores are out, then I got to put pistons in it.
So this is the thing that gets me when somebody says, well, I got an engine with 150,000 miles on it.
Yep.
And I want to, well, the bore looks good.
Right.
So, well, really, how good is the bore? Now, the other thing to remember is a cylinder finish is a art or a process that you put cross hatches, and to me, it's like rubbing, I always remember, and maybe this is unfair to say, it's like rubbing sandpaper on a piece of metal or a surface, and you get different grits or different grooves in it, and that creates the RA that they talk about.
Yeah.
And so, but that requires a thickness of those grits of honing process to create those deeps and valleys and peaks and everything. So then when you have an engine that's got 150,000, well, how much of that peaks and valleys is gone?
Right. So like your cross hatching is...
It's cross hatching. Well, you may look in it. What's got cross hatches on it?
It's got cross hatching.
Hatches on it. Well, actually, how deep is it?
Right.
If
you can see them, but
you can see them with your eyeball. But how real deep are they?
Yep.
Are they going to provide the oil for the piston skirt to actually carry it on while over the next 100,000 miles?
Right. And will it seal well against the ring set?
Well, and yeah, will it seal? But I really look at personally, my own, is I look at the crosshatch to help carry the piston so it doesn't scuff the walls, and it provides enough lubrication for that piston to move up and down where it doesn't truly lay on the skirt.
Sure.
Okay, and so when you come in here with a 150,000 mile engine, and how much is that going?
I feel like you're buttering me up here.
No, this in here is probably as well off as anything. I set this dial bore gauge up on a 4-inch bore. That's what this thing claims to be. I would love to measure the old pistons in the skirt so to see what that size is. And then let's say the skirts wore 5/10 or 1,000ths or whatever it is.
Sure.
Which is going to add to that.
That makes sense.
But when you take and put this in here, and if it's at the top is where it's wore the most. Let's move to the bottom. So the bottom, so we're a 1/2,000, 3/4 of a thousandths off a 4-inch. So it's got that much wear in it if it originally started at 4-inch. But when you get up here where the piston stopped traveling, where it wears the most, I'm trying to hold this. See, I had to, see, it's 2,000 from new bore. So you've got from a half, you got thousandths of half worth of taper in there. So if you were going to hone it, well, I want a nice square bore. Well, I usually be within 2/10 top to bottom and out around. So do you take out that much on the bottom to make it square? And then how much then you got to add the crosshatch effect to it for it to reseal. Now you're at 4 or 5. Some people may feel that's just fine. I don't. I want back to OEM type standards, or what the piston manufacturer may recommend, plus whatever you may be doing with it to add clearance to it in a particular application. Sure. So yes, so these things get overhauled like this all the time, but it's considered a, I don't think I want to use the word cheap, but it's not. Yeah. It's not
the right way.
Well, it's not the right way. Yeah. Because you were taking into effect that you can put this back together. Yeah, I've done it. People out there are going to say I've done it hundreds of times. I'm trying to. You have to, in a business, have to work off critical numbers because not only are your reputation on it, but your liability is on it.
Absolutely.
And if I say, yeah, everyone come in here and you hone it and you're 3,000 or 4,000 loose,
Sure.
when it starts, when it leaves, what's going to happen as it goes down the road? It's going to get worse. Then you're going to have this piston knock.
Right.
And And
that's an excellent point. The just junkyard it and rock and roll in a dingle ball hone in your garage is one thing. When your business name is on it, that's a whole nother ballgame.
And the other part about the dingle ball hone, does the dingle hall actually provide you a RA finish?
Yeah.
No.
Or is it just visually?
It actually breaks up the glaze part. I think I do a great job of breaking up a glaze. And I was a guy that 30, how many ever years ago, I used to lose that dingleberry hone a lot.
Yeah.
But as I became, I think, wiser and understood the principles of honing,
Sure.
I ain't gonna say they don't have a purpose, because that's a whole new discussion.
But
I think they do have a purpose. I have one, but putting it in your sun and hone.
Yeah, and using a honing stone.
And honing stone or diamond hone, or whatever. We are in the professional world trying to do the professional job.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, you could fix it. I mean, I measured 3 or 4 of these. It looks like all of them, you got a couple thousandths wear. 1.5 there. So is it war bad? No. But
now the big question for me is this.
So
I had one bearing that looked bad, and it was down to brass on the fourth main. Everything else looked pretty good as far as my bearings go. The fourth one immediately scared me because that was the first one I pulled.
And tend to be is a lot of people in the professional business, when you get a crank like this with this much wear on it, a lot of times they'll wear funny, like egg shape or out of round. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times you're doing all the other stuff. Why not just grind it 10, put a nice round journal on it, and you're good to go, and you know what you're dealing with.
Right.
I mean, yes, back to the same thing as that. Yeah, we can wash it, put it on the polisher and probably polish it up. Or, and I ain't saying it has to be turned, but you can see that there's a lot of wear lines in that, and it comes back, and probably this rod may be worse than the main, which is tendency of, it kind of spins a lot more, has a lot more load on it than the mains. But does it look bad? No, it don't look bad. You could polish it and probably especially with the right tolerances, get along just fine.
So here's my problem.
Yeah. Only one?
It's one big one.
Oh, one big one.
If we go down the path of it needs to be bored, which means it needs pistons, which means we're removing a piston from a 150,000 mile old cast iron rod.
You know how I feel about all that.
I know that, and this is how we go sliding down that slippery slope of, well, if we're going to put rods and pistons in it, why don't we get a new crankshaft? Well, if we're going to do rods, piston, and crankshaft, why don't you just put a stroker kit in it?
Well,
same money.
It's also, I mean, I don't see where you have to replace this, unless it was a application where you was trying to put some horsepower to it. So I don't say that you have to replace this at all.
You want to just kind of clean it and polish it and call it a day?
Yeah, and then I will set the clearances to allow it to be a little forgiving.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
We will end up building a 427. I know that's in the works. As soon as that went into my mind, a 427 small block Ford sounds like a great idea. Especially since we just tested a 427 small block Chevy. Oh. So that would be great. Unfortunately, a big bad 427 small block Ford will absolutely shatter my little T5 transmission that's sitting behind it. So this thing I want to keep on a budget, and then we'll build an expensive version of this same thing down the road. So would you want to clean this and then maybe hone it? Or
so if I was...
Or you think we're bad enough that it's pistons?
So back to what I said originally is we got 2,000 wear in it.
Yeah.
So normally we like to see a straight bore.
Right.
But I rather have a slightly tapered bore than have too loose on the bottom side especially where the skirt touches or rides in it. So if it was mine, I would probably leave some of the taper there.
Okay.
You know, a little bit, and it comes back to the fact is what we're trying to do is patch something up.
Right.
You know, so we're
Which
going.
is very much not how I work and not how you work.
Yeah, and that is very true,
Yeah.
and that is very true. But you know, the biggest thing is when you use the honing procedure that we use, it wants to remove and make it square.
Right.
So it wants to remove the bottom side that's tight. So you just try to put a little bit in it to help hold the oil and hold the rings, and it is what it is. Okay. It's not the best, but it is what it is. You know.
Okay.
And like I said, when you build engines and you get into the engineering part of why certain things do certain ways. You know, yeah, there's forgiving directions a person can go, but you know, somewhat what is right and what else is slightly wrong.
Yeah. I get it. And the right way to do this would be to punch this block 30 over, put a brand new set of pistons in it, probably go ahead and put a set of rods in it.
Yeah.
Because they're not that expensive anyway. But in my budget thing where I'm trying to build this for half of nothing.
But the other part of it is
it's not the right way to do it.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And the other part of it is, you know, I worry about, just like I said, the seasoning part of it. A lot of times you'll do a block like this, we measure all 4 of them, and then you put it in the hone, and because of the hone being square, the hone will like, hey, I'm egg-shaped, dude. And then when you try to hone it without, you know, and I'm saying with the CK10 or the SV 21 that I have, you know, it doesn't want to work the way the cylinder is. So pretty soon as it starts traveling, it kind of can get out of hand or get larger than you want it to get because you're trying to keep as much meat in there for it to provide, you know, tolerances for the piston that's in there.
I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? I mean, I've been here, done this before so many times.
Yeah.
That
this is not a conversation you and I have ever had.
No, but I've touched on it.
Yeah.
And I told you that you might not want to hear what I have my opinion of all this. And
I get it.
And that's the reason.
And that's honestly when I wanted to come and have this conversation.
And this is the reason why. This is why I have these feelings, because of all of this stuff that goes on.
Yeah. I mean, like both of those Pontiac ones. You know, that Pontiac and that Pontiac. This is slightly out, that's slightly out. Done.
Yeah.
Replace that.
Yeah.
New pistons, new rods. Don't screw around with it.
No.
We got to cut this crankshaft. Cut the crankshaft.
Yeah.
But each time we do that, it's a little bit more money, a little bit more
Oh,
money.
absolutely. I mean, there is nothing cheap in this business when you try your best to make it as perfect as you can, because it will bite you in the ass if you don't make it perfect.
Especially when your name's on it.
Well, no, yeah, your name's on it, and you know, and then everybody gives you shit because you cheated.
Yeah.
Well, you know, everybody's broke, you know. I was just having a conversation with Daniel Powell last night. I told him, I said, you know, if we went to the hospital and worked with the knowledge that we have in what we do, we'd be doctors. We'd be getting $250,000, you know?
True. Yeah.
And hell, we're lucky to scrape by.
Yeah.
And no, but everybody complains about prices.
Yep. That's true.
It is.
That's true. All right, so wash it, polish it, send it.
Everybody speak up and tell him what he really should do.
So there's,
and then forgive him that he spent a little bit more money to have it right.
Right. So, I mean, I think it makes sense to do this the right way, but not like maybe all the right way. Maybe like partially the right way. Because my mind would say, if I'm going to put rods and pistons in this thing, there's no way I'm putting it back together stock. It's going to go 351.
Well, you know, the other part of it is as you're building your 2,000 plus pistons and rods, combination, or whatever your dollar amount is. I don't remember what it was.
I have $2,200 left.
Yeah, well, okay, $2,200 left. But when you get to $5,000, was it? You were
Yeah.
trying to get to. Well, it's $5,000 plus pistons and rods that I really wasn't planning on spending. You guys don't have to spend that, but I did.
Right.
Because Bob,
Asterisks.
Yep.
$5,000 hot rod. Asterisk. Can you do it in $5,000? Yes. Did I? Absolutely not.
No, but you could have.
I could have, but I could have. I like that.
But Bob wouldn't like it.
But Bob wouldn't let me. I get that. So there you go, guys. That's where we are with this thing. We got to figure out what we're going to do. Let me know what you think we should do. There is, I promise you, going to be a 427 stroker kit version of this, because I don't know if it was you or Terry, one of the two of you mentioned the fact that that was a thing, and it's been rattling around in my brain, and especially now that we've done your 427, it really makes me think like, man, that'd be freaking awesome to have a 427 manual transmission LTD. Would be freaking baller.
What was it, make 350 horse for you in that Ford?
And I don't want to make a ton of power.
Eric, I don't know where Eric makes those big heads for a Ford.
Yeah, well, we'll maybe have to have a conversation. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. That's where we are. So there's a bit of wear on the cylinders. There's a bit of wear on the crankshaft. We're going to toss it in the parts cleaner over yonder. We're going to see what we got out of it. And then we got to make our decision. What do you think we should do? You think just spit shine it and send it? Or do I...
And I think that's why it comes back to the fact is if you don't want to spin it, don't tear it apart. Run it till it blows up and then fix it.
Oh, God, that's so not me.
Well...
It's so, I mean, it's the junkyard guys are that way.
I mean, it's like
you yank it out of the truck, you put a turbo
drop
on it.
that LS in, when it blows up, just go get another one. You know, you could have done the exact same thing as this, and we wouldn't be having this conversation and wasting my time. Do I bill you for this hour?
Like, comment, subscribe. Hope we'll see you again. Take care. Bye-bye. In case you're wanting to know what $20-something thousand worth of Pontiacs look like, that's it, boys. Right there.